morning. You look so calm and peaceful. So, good morning, our friends from joining us home and our friends who are in here in person. Welcome to the Sunday Dharma service. This morning, we'll begin our meditation practice with bowing. So let me introduce our Ilwonsang Buddha to you. If you're new to our temple, this circle will outstanding to you. So we have this circle Buddha. Its name is Ilwonsang. And this circle image represents our true nature that is perfect and complete, utterly impartial and selfless. And also it guides us to awaken to the truth of interconnectedness among all beings in the universe. So now please join me in bowing practice in standing posture. Grace of heaven and earth. Grace of parents. Grace of fellow beings. Grace of laws and universal principles. Now, turn to your neighbor Buddha, which is living Buddha here, and we'll greet them with our smile. So students, you can turn back and bow to our Sangha members. Great. Now please be seated. Our Dharma hall is full this morning with our guests from Korea. 8 students and 2 teachers are with us this morning. During our service, we'll get a chance to learn about them. But first, our gathering will begin with meditation practice. So now you can wiggle your body side to side, back and forth. Straighten your back, open up your chest, and your shoulders feel like melting down to the ground. And now Catherine will give us more tips on how to sit comfortably.
The method of sitting meditation is simple and easy. Sit comfortably on the floor or in a chair. Breathe in, grab all your tension, and breathe it out. Open up your chest and heart. Stretch up tall and align your spine from your neck to your tailbone. Relax your shoulders and arms, then allow your hands to rest on your knees. Bring your attention to your breath. As you exhale, release all mental and physical tension. Invite your attention to abide in your chi energy field, which is called Danjan. This is located about 2 inches below your navel and is the power center for your breathing. Open your eyes and gaze downward over the end of your nose and to the floor. Keep your mouth closed and allow the tip of your tongue to rest gently against the roof of your mouth. When your mind is concentrated and calm, pure and clear saliva may gather in your mouth. You may swallow it. Relax your facial muscles and notice your gentle smile. If your face or body begins to itch, do not scratch. This is just a sign of the energy circulating in your body. Simply note the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly so that you maintain a calm stillness and do not interrupt others. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be discouraged or disturbed by them. Simply focus on your breathing without reacting to or playing with those thoughts. Recognize them as thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. And remember, keep bringing your awareness back to your Danjan, breathing center. If you continue practicing meditation for a long period of time, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation, in which the mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, with no distinction between self and others, time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, aware of our ever calm and alert spirit.
When it comes to meditation, there are many forms. Now we're gonna practice Sutra chanting meditation, Heart Sutra, Ilwonsang vow first, and Heart Sutra, page 4 and 5. So these sutras contain the essential teachings from enlightened teachers. So please add your voice and chant this together. 일원상바 일원 is the realm of samadhi, beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and the origin of heaven and earth, parent, fellow beings, and lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened master, enlightened people and sentient beings. One manifests as both permanence and impermanence. One unfolds into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is fused as impermanence. One unfolds into infinite world through the cycle of formation, duration, decay and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the four forms of birth we transform through 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing with grace, arising from harm from grace. Therefore, unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Ilwonsang, the Dharmakaya Buddha, cultivating our minds and bodies, deeply knowing human affairs and principles thoroughly, using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until attain the great empowerment of Ilwon and become one with the nature of Ilwon. Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, deeply practicing Prajnaparamita, realized that all 5 aggregates are empty, thus became free from all suffering and distress. So Shariputra, form does not from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true. Sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They do not appear or disappear until
tainted pure do not increase or decrease in emptiness, no form, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no warmth or ear, no tongue, body, or mind, consciousness. Ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no old days and death, no extinction of them. Suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no wisdom, no attainment, with nothing to attain, the Bodhisattva realize. Prajna paramita, therefore the mind has no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Delusion, one dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on prajna paramita and attain supreme enlightenment. Prajna paramita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra. Past and unequaled mantra, which is able to eliminate all suffer. This is true enough, also proclaimed. Prajna paramita mantra, which says gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awaken. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha.
Now you may wiggle your fingers, move your wrists, hands on your knees, gently move your upper body, relax your shoulders. Shall we clasp our fingers and push our palms forward, bring them upward and stretching. And release your hands down. Now I am happy to introduce our guest students and teachers to you. So they are from Yongsan, one Buddhist seminary school in Korea. And these students are studying and practicing to become one Buddhist minister. We call it 교무님. And do you know what? In order to make this trip possible, they had their final exam a week early and hurried themselves to clean their school and dorm, flew about 14 hours to get here, and here they are. So, we'd like to hear from every student today about their life. But to save our time,
we'll listen to two students' Dharma story. But before that, students will come up here and their name to you. So please stand up. You may turn around.
Hello, my name is Hwang Jae Park. I'm working at Yangsan University of Sun Study and dormitory teacher. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Eun-Sol Kwon. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Ho Jun-jung. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Dae-up Chang. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Seung-jae Chu. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Myung-sop Cha. Glad to meet you.
Hello, my name is Yang Se-won. Nice to meet you.
He's briefly share how he decided his mind, one Buddhism minister, and his life practice story. Yeah, and his practice basically. Yeah.
예. Good morning.
Good morning.
안녕하십니까 원다르마 센터의 교도님들, 교무님들. 저는 영산선악대학교 3학년에 다니고 있는 정현우라고 합니다.
Yeah, my name is Jung Hyun-no. It's really great to see one Buddhist practitioner at the One Dharma Center.
지구 반대편에 날아와서 이렇게 소중한 법연들을 만날 수 있게 도와주시고 준비해 주신 모든 분들께 감사드립니다.
It's really not coincidence, and I'm very glad. I flew to here actually from the opposite of the earth, and I think it's a very special karmic tie or dharma affinity.
그리고 이 자리에 함께 해주시는 모든 분들께 감사드립니다.
I'm very thank you all are here that we practice together, but Asian, American, and so on.
저는 이번 시간에 제가 공부했던 이야기를 해볼까 합니다.
I would like to share a brief story how I practiced, how I came to practice Dharma, especially in my seminary.
학교에서 하루는 어떤 회의가 있었습니다.
There was some meeting, some gathering in our school one day.
그곳에서 한 도반이 계속 이상한 주장을 펼치는 겁니다.
So one of my Dharma friend argued something to me. It sounded very irrational and strange.
당시 저는 할 일이 매우 많았습니다.
I was really pressed in time right after that gathering, and I started to become very upset.
저는 이 회의를 얼른 끝내고 다른 일을 하고 싶은 생각에 마음이 조급했습니다.
I had a really rushing mind because right after service I have to do something else.
그래서 쓸데없는 주장으로 회의를 질질 끄는 그 도반에게 마음이 요란했습니다.
So particularly, I started to feel a little resentment to that person with arguing something in a very irrational way.
그래서 그 도반한테 그만하라고 한마디 해줄까 생각도 했습니다.
So I considered to say in a very blunt way, why don't you stop there? But
하지만 지금 이 요란한 상태에서 말을 하면 나쁜 말만 나올 것 같았습니다.
But I realized that in my state of mind right now, which is not calm and peaceful, that kind of advice will not work at all to him.
그래서 연부를 하면서 일단 마음을 가라앉히고 온전함을 찾는 데 집중했습니다.
So in order to restore my original calm, peaceful state of mind, I first started to chant to quiet my mind first.
그래도 금방 가라앉지 않아서 계속 그렇게 연부를 하고 가라앉히려고 노력을 했습니다.
I tried chanting and other things to pacify my mind, but I could not restore my original mind quickly.
그러다 보니 이제 주변의 다른 도반들이 그 도반에게 이야기를 잘 해서 그 상황은 끝났습니다.
But in the meantime, I discovered that other friends next to him started to say something very nice to that particular person, and it ended up very well.
그리고 저도 마음이 다시 고요해졌습니다.
And I felt calm again.
그 상황을 교무님께 말씀드렸습니다.
So after that gathering, I told what I felt to my dormitory superintendent.
저는 내심 교무님께서 요란한 상황에서 경거망동하지 않고 자신을 잘 다스렸다고 칭찬해 주실 줄 알았습니다.
I expected, I was pleased by that teacher because in that particular situation, I took care of my mind very well. For example, I didn't yell to that person, but
그런데 오히려 교무님은 저를 혼내셨습니다.
But he scolded me, the dormitory superintendent.
교무님께서는 이렇게
He
말씀하셨습니다.
told exactly in this way.
우리의 공부는 경계를 당해 요란하지 않으려고 마음을 가라앉히는 공부가 다가 아닙니다.
The whole aspect of our practice is not just to calm down our mind, to take care of our mind in some situation is not the whole picture.
우리의 공부는 부동한 마음으로 잘 판단하고 잘 취사해서 은혜를 나투는 데 그 목적이 있습니다.
The direction or the goal of our practice is based on calm state of focused mind. We make a correct judgment and carry out what is righteous. That is the direction and the goal of our life.
하지만 당신은 부동하는 공부에만 붙잡혀서 그 회의가 어떻게 하면 잘 될까 하고 생각을 해보지도 않았습니다.
So at that particular moment when my mind was not stable, my only thought is how can I calm down my mind? I was just focused to restore that unmoving mind, nothing else.
그리고 그 판단대로 결단력 있게 실천하지도 않았습니다.
And I was not paying attention at all. I should say something to make that meeting turned out very well. I paid no attention at all.
오히려 그 상황을 정리해준 주변 도반들에게 빚만 졌습니다.
The only thing, I just grateful to the person who talked to that person instead of me. So from one perspective, I created some debt to my Dharma friend because they carry out what that I was supposed to do.
우리는 어디에 가나 그곳에서 주인으로 사는 공부를 하는 것입니다.
So what is the practice, the lesson that I acquired from that situation in whatever place or place? We should be the master of that place. We should be take care of that situation very well as the mind of a master.
만약 당신이 주인이었다면 그렇게 행동하지 않았을 겁니다.
If we are the owner or the master of that situation, probably I would act very differently.
이 공부는 나 하나만 편하자고 하는 공부가
So
아닙니다.
our practice is not supposed to calm down only my mind. It's not the direction of our practice.
저는 이 말씀을 듣고 뒤통수를 한 대 맞은 것 같은
It's just
느낌이
like
들었습니다.
quite a big awakening moment when I got advice from my dormitory superintendent.
지금까지 그냥 원불교에서 마음 공부라고 하면 정신 수양을 주로 생각하는 경향이 있었습니다.
Till that point, when I read the scripture, when I listened to the person, my concept of a mindful practice is usually for spiritual cultivation, calming down my mind.
삼대력 병진이라는 말을 들어도 그냥 그렇구나 하고
Even
넘어갔습니다.
though I heard the word simultaneous carrying out threefold practice, threefold training, it just was very conceptual to me. It was not authentic to my practice.
하지만 그때 이후로 이 삼대력 병진이라는 것이 제 머릿속에 확 꽂힌
After
느낌이었습니다.
that incident, after that gathering, the word simultaneous practice, threefold practice, deeply embedded in my mind and heart.
머리로 아는 것은 활용하지 않으면 모르는 것과 같습니다.
Intellectual understanding, if it is not utilized or applied in our real life, is useless.
활용하더라도 제대로 활용해야겠습니다.
Even though we try to apply, utilize that, we should do that in a proper way.
삼대력 중 어느 하나에만 편착되면 원만한 인격을 이루지 못합니다.
If we are just biased in one particular subject of our practice, spiritual cultivation of wisdom, choice in action, that is not whole-rounded, complete practice.
그러니 우리 모두 다 같이 신과 분과 의와 성으로서 삼대력을 키워서 부처님 되시고
So, in order to attain Buddhahood, let's give rise to a great four articles to progress, great faith, zeal, questioning mind, and dedication in order to restore our Buddhahood.
그리고 사은에 보은하여 세상에 평화를 세우고
And then we need to pay back our gratitude to the people outside to become the light for this world.
사유로서 낙원 세상을 건설하는 사람들 되셨으면 좋겠습니다.
So I sincerely hope and pray that we all need the so-called the four essentials in our teaching to brighten this society altogether.
마음 공부 잘하여서 새 세상의 주인 됩시다.
So it's become a very dedicated practitioner by sincerely carrying out this threefold practice.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you. So his last name was Chong, and the second student, her last name is also Chong. So are you, oh Chon? Oh, sorry about that. So come up here.
She will talk in English.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today? My name is Hye Bong-jeon. I am a junior at Yongsan University of Sun Studies. Before I begin, I would like to thank you for having us here today on behalf of my classmates. We've been waiting almost 2 years to come here, and we are here at last. So it is an honor to be here, to have the opportunity to share my story of how I decided to walk this path of becoming a minister. Growing up as a child, I had constantly questioned that about my identity. I was born in Seoul but was raised in 3 different countries. I spent most of my childhood here in the United States and spent my teenage years in Korea and Vietnam. I went to 6 different schools. Each of these schools had a completely different atmosphere. The language was different, the culture was different, and the people came from different backgrounds. I was 2 years old when my family and I moved to Illinois from Seoul. I spoke Korean and ate Korean food at home, but I had no memory of my home country. Could I call myself an American? No, because my mother tongue is Korean, I look like Korean, and my nationality is Korean. My family and I moved back to Korea when I was 10. I was the new kid from America, hence the center of attention. Traveling abroad was not yet common in 2000. Back then, America was a country that people would admire and wish to visit one day. Although I was with people who looked like me, I still didn't feel like I was entirely fitting in. There was an invisible wall that was quite impossible to mend. Then my father had been transferred to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam for work around the time I went to high school. I went to an international school where literally everyone was from different parts of the world. The first day of school was quite shocking to me. People were speaking English, but I had no idea what they were saying. At that time, I was only aware of English with an American accent. There, at the international school, there were all kinds of accents, from really strong Australian accent to Singlish. There was even a student who was from here, the United States, with a British accent. Even though the school was a mix of various cultures, I still had a hard time blending in. It was when I went on to university that I finally found somewhere I felt belonged. Yes, it was the One Buddhist community. I come from a very faithful One Buddhist family, so my mother suggested me to go to this camp for university freshman students organized by the One Buddhist University Students Association. I was quite reluctant to go at first, but the people I met there were open-minded, friendly, the nicest people, and most of all, it was an inclusive environment which made me feel like I belonged. So I spent my entire university life actively involved in Won Buddhism activities. These activities had brought significant changes in life. And personality-wise, I became an extrovert. I made many lifelong friends, and most importantly, I became a leader. Therefore, I am forever grateful to Won Buddhism. After graduating university, I started to work at a tier 1 of Hyundai and Kia Motors. I was in the HR team doing payrolls and administrative work, and also I worked as a personal assistant to the chair. Overloaded with work all the time, I had to work very long hours, long as 14 hours. I had no personal life on weekdays. My routine was work, home, bed. I was always sleep deprived, so I slept till late afternoons on Saturdays, making up for lost sleep. I went to work because I woke up every day. I felt like a zombie forced to go to work. Also, people at work were power hungry, focused on taking care of their self-interests. After working for 4 years, I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't see a future in this company, so I set my 2019 New Year's resolution to quit my job. I was desperate at the time, so I prayed to the Dharmakaya Buddha of Fourfold Graces that I would do whatever it tells me to do, whether to stick with the job or move to a different job or to become a minister of Won Buddhism. Excuse me. While I was preparing to quit, I took a half day off from work and went to a camp for prospective ministers of Won Buddhism held in Yongsan. I went there to just empty my mind and to just rest. But instead, I found that true happiness does not come from materialistic prosperity, but from freedom of the mind. I wanted to do something greater in life, to live a meaningful life. Therefore, I was determined to devote my life in making this world a better place for everyone. A place where every living thing is treated as equal, and to spread happiness to this world. I'd like to add a spoonful of sugar in everyone's life, and I hope that you will be part of it too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Isn't this great to listen to their stories, right? And it's somewhat relief to know that so we don't have any ankles. No ankle, no ankle, please, don't ankle. So our Sangha members appreciate their visit so much, so we prepared a small gift for them. So Kathy and Doug, please come up, and 교무님, come up, and one representative student, please come up. 가운데로 오세요. 교무님 가운데로. So what are those, Kathy? Thank you. Now, why don't we take our time to join our palms together and minds and hearts together and pray for our precious students' spiritual path ahead, plus their safe trip in the States. So we'll take a moment for silent prayer. May these precious pre-교무님s deepen their practice and hone their wisdom, and so they become great Dharma teachers who embrace all beings in the world. Thank you for your prayer. Before we end, I have two things to share. One is about our upcoming in-person retreat on January 14th to 17th. The theme is Reflect, Renew, and Reset. And we are lucky to have Venerable Juksa님 for the whole time for this retreat. So for more information, please visit our website. And as we shared before, today is the last day for Reverend Min Sung to join our Sunday service. So please feel free to share your thank you and goodbye to him after this service. Let me conclude this Sunday's. Oh yeah, Doc, do you have? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. So starting from our center, they're going to continue their trip to New York, visiting New York Temple in Queens and Manhattan Temple. And they go to Philadelphia, visit a temple there and also one Institute of Graduate Studies, and go to Washington Temple. And then they will fly to the West Coast.
So they have about 17 nights? 19 days, 17 nights. So that's their trip ahead. Thank you for asking that. So this concludes our Sunday Dharma service. Thank you for joining us today. Hope to see you next Sunday. Before you go, get to know our students a little